This is one of the clearest prophecies of Prophet Muhammad, peace be upon him, in the Bible.
It's not clear, and if it was clear, it would directly say Muhammad. And I can't find one Hebrew Bible scholar that specializes in the book of Isaiah that says this is about Muhammad. I got tagged in the comments of this video like 8 times, so I'll go through all the problems with it.
In Isaiah 42, the chapter starts by saying that a very special person will be sent to bring justice to the nations.
He's claiming the servant in Isaiah 42 is Muhammad, but this doesn't make sense with the context. Remember, this is 2nd Isaiah, and anytime 2nd Isaiah identifies a servant, it's always Israel. Isaiah 41, 8-10 uses very similar language to what we see in Isaiah 42, indicating that he's probably still talking about the same servant. There's never any shift to identifying a different servant than Israel. After this, 2nd Isaiah continues to talk about God's servant and identifies it as Israel. There's no indication there was ever a shift from some other servant who's mentioned in Isaiah 42. The context is always about Israel. And if you're going to take this as literally about an individual, then this servant also has to be deaf and blind, because verse 19 picks up again talking about the servant and says that he is blind and deaf. And once again, there's no indication 2nd Isaiah is talking about a different servant from who he's already been talking about.
These verses clearly give us a location where this person will be sent, and that is A, the settlements where Kedar lives, and B, in a place called Selah.
The chapter nowhere says the servant is going to be sent to Kedar or Selah. In the middle of this, he changes from talking about a servant to singing a new song for Yahweh. He calls on the people of the coastlands, which was to the west of Israel, to rejoice. Then he calls on the people of the east to Israel to rejoice. The people in the desert, the villages of Kedar, and a city called Selah, which was around the Dead Sea. You just can't talk about the people to the east 2nd Isaiah calls on to sing without talking about the people to the west 2nd Isaiah also calls to sing. And again, this is not about where the servant's going to be sent, it's about singing a song to God.
Using Google Maps, we can see that Mount Selah is literally in the city of Medina, where the Prophet Muhammad, peace be upon him, established Islam.
This is an equivocation fallacy. You just can't take a place name out of the Bible without including where the Bible identifies that place. This would be like me assuming that when Greek texts talk about Memphis, they're referring to the city in Tennessee and not the city in Egypt. The Bible identifies Selah as a city around the Dead Sea in a mountainous region. This is not disputed by biblical scholars. No one says Selah in the Bible refers to Medina or a mountain in Medina.
The chapter in Isaiah continues and says that the Lord will march out like a champion and will triumph over his enemies.
This is way too vague, and it doesn't say the servant's going to do this. This is a song about Yahweh. Biblical passages often talk about God defeating idol worshippers or fighting for his people. And if this section is about the servant, then he also has to cry like a woman in labor, lay waste to mountains and hills, dry up vegetation, turn rivers into islands, dry up pools, and lead the blind. Muhammad did none of these things. This section makes far more sense as a song about Yahweh that uses hyperbolic language. You just can't quote mine the parts you like to make it be about Muhammad. You gotta take the full context. If this is about Muhammad, I want to know where he cried like a woman in labor and turned rivers into islands.